The tag team division on Monday Night Raw has been just as stacked and loaded as the tag team division on SmackDown, NXT, and WWE Evolve lot that airs every Wednesday on Tubi. And as of 2 weeks ago, the Judgment Days, Finn Balor and JD McDonough, have once again become the World Tag Team Champions by defeating The New Day. That brings us to this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue on the heels of a historic women's division takeover weekend. As I said, comes a new episode of WWE's Biggest Issue, where we will talk about who will step up to Finn Balor and JD McDonough's second reign as World Tag Team Champions. Now, the first time they were Tag Team Champions, they held the titles up until last November, if I remember correctly. And it lasted quite a while, but they only had about like 2 or 3 title defenses then after. Let's just hope that this time around things will become a bit different. So let's talk about who will step up to the Judgment Day and the World Tag Team titles. Now the tag team division on Raw has been, as I had just stated, has been on fire. I mean, think of the list of who's who. You've got excuse me. You've got the Alpha Academy. Obviously now it is just Akira Tozawa, as Otis has been out with an injury for quite some time. I would say you have A-Town Down Under. But unfortunately, Grayson Waller has decided to join forces with the New Day for some weird ass reason. Then then of course you've got the team of Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. You've got the Creed brothers. You've got the LWO in the form of Dragon Lee, Cruz del Toro, Joaquin Wilde, and of course WWE Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio. You've got the War Raiders, the New Day. You've got the New Day, and I believe that's all of them. Yep. Yeah. Oh, and also you've got New Catch Republic. I am referring to Tyler Bate and the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne. Excuse me. Now, the tag team division on Raw has been. Some people would say that the tag team division on Raw has been a little lackluster, but I would say that with the New Day now no longer tag team champions, some people believe that it was Finn Balor and JD McDonough that became the saviors of the tag team division, because of the fact that the New Day didn't give any team title opportunities unless if it was a team like the Creed brothers. Yes, they did have like 1 or 2 successful title defenses on Raw. Obviously, one of them was in the form of a triple threat that featured not just them, but also the War Raiders and the Creed brothers, if I remember correctly. So the fact that excuse me, the fact that the New Day claims that they saved the tag team division is kind of funny. But we gotta talk about each team, and let's just get down to it. So first up is obviously Breaker and Reed, probably one of the most dominant duos we've seen in a very long time. Obviously, we found out on Saturday, just the other night, at Saturday night's main event, that Seth Rollins got hurt, re-injuring his right knee, which was the same knee that he injured the first time around back in 2015 at a live event, I believe in Indianapolis, if I remember correctly. Um, let's see here. Seth injury 2015. If I remember correctly, this was okay. So it was a live event in Dublin, Ireland. They were doing a European tour back in 2015, back in November, in November of 2015, and he attempted to do a sunset flip powerbomb to Kane, but unfortunately the injury caught. But unfortunately, he suffered a torn ACL, MCL, and medial meniscus in his right knee. His whole knee completely shattered in 2015, and he was on the shelf for 7 months. November, December, January, February, March. Yeah, 7 months. Yeah, so yeah, about 6, 7. So he was out for almost 7 months before ultimately returning, costing to to take out Roman Reigns, wanting staking claim to the WWE title. We found out that as of right now, he is currently being being evaluated by a doctor in Birmingham, Alabama, and the the knee injury could potentially alter all of the plans that Seth had. Um, excuse me. To and as far as the Money in the Bank briefcase goes, the knee injury could potentially stop those plans from happening, and WWE may be forced to force Seth Rollins to relinquish the Money in the Bank briefcase, which could potentially lead to Seth Rollins being the first man to have never cashed in Money in the Bank in WWE history, which is possible, which is very possible, but it is hard to say. Obviously, last night at WWE Evolution, with the women's Money in the Bank briefcase, the success rate continues to remain at 100% as Naomi cashed in to win the women's world title, which I'll be talking about that in a future episode of WWE's biggest issues. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I think it's hard to say. Excuse me. No one knows if Seth's injury will require surgery or what. But even without Seth Rollins, both Braun and Reed have been a very successful and a very dominant duo with Paul Heyman in their corner. So one could argue that they could have quite a lengthy reign as the world tag team champions. The Creed brothers, they've been owed title opportunities for so long. No, people have been asking if it was the right call for WWE to bring both the Creed and Ivy Nile to Raw from NXT. No, it's so up there. The LWO, they've been owed championship gold for so long now. They need gold. They need some gold. The War Raiders obviously definitely owed a traditional tag team rematch. One could argue that it could potentially happen, but we'll have to wait and see. Then I believe is the New Day. Again, New Day definitely owed a rematch of their own, which would be very interesting. New Catch Republic, we haven't seen them on Raw in a minute now. They've been competing on main event recently, so one could argue that New Catch Republic could make their way back to the tag title scene. Only time will tell. But if I had to pick two teams, I would have to say the New Day. I would have to say the New Day and the LWO. And the only reason why I bring up these two teams is because the New Day are arguably one of the most decorated tag teams in all of WWE. Arguably one of the best three-man factions in WWE history. In fact, the only other three-man faction that would consider themselves the best ever would definitely have to be the Undisputed Era, but they became a quartet when Roderick Strong joined the UE at Takeover New Orleans in 2018. So if you guys, which by the way, if you guys have not checked out that video, I did a complete history video on the Undisputed Era and their legacy and whatnot. So if you have not checked out that video, I recommend you guys check it out. It's possible that the UE could return, but only time will tell. And as far as the New Day goes, again, they've been owed. They are 100% owed a rematch. But obviously, knowing Adam Pearce, he'll probably tell the New Day that they have to earn their shot at the world tag team titles. Now, as far as the LWO goes, under the tutelage of WWE Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio, they've really shined quite brightly without the Hall of Famer in their corner, especially at Worlds Collide, when we saw the LWO. If I can get to my book here we go. As the LWO, originally it was supposed to have been Cruz del Toro, Joaquin Wilde, and Dragon Lee, but Joaquin got injured, so Lince Dorado stepped up as an honorary member of the LWO to take on the team of Octagon Jr., Aerostar, and one of the most popular stars in AAA, a fan favorite for the kids, if you can believe it. None other than Mr. Iguana with La Yesca. And apparently there was a reel that was posted that Lola Vice from NXT teamed up with TNA's very own Santino Marella, the Director of Authority, as they challenged for the AAA Mixed Tag Team titles that was being held by Mr. Iguana and a female. I don't know her name, unfortunately. I don't think the name popped up on my TV screen. But Santino's Cobra accidentally knocked out La Yesca, and the entire world was just busting out tears. It was... I don't even know what to say. Just pure chaos. That's all I gotta say about that. But again, with that performance at Worlds Collide, and with the performance that they had on Evolve, teaming with Lince Dorado against against the Vanity Project a few weeks ago, one could argue that the LWO could be in line for that potential tag title shot. But when it comes down to it, the question remains: who should be the number one team to take that first challenge? And as crazy as it sounds, I think it has to be the LWO. I think because that the LWO has been turning a lot of heads over the last couple months or so. One could argue that if they received that tag title shot, I can guarantee you that they would not squander the opportunity, and they would take full advantage of it. So my honest opinion definitely has to be the LWO. But if we're being honest, it would probably have to be the New Day. In my realistic opinion, it would have to be the New Day. But if I'm making a prediction, it would be the LWO. And on that note, that will do it for this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue in the future, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.